Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of atACC. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use Tailoring Management System. So let's start the video. Once you log in, you can see the dashboard. Now on the left side, you can see the menu. The first one is master, which you need to create before making any transaction. The first one is party, from which we can create customers, just like we did it on atACC. We can input name, all the details, shipping, transaction details, even the VAT number. So once all required fields are completed, you can save it and continue. So I just created test customers in order to do the demo. The next one is employee. In this window we can create different employees for the tailoring purpose. Just like input the name, you can select the employee type like cutting, stitching, embroidery, like that. You can select the type based on the employee. So once all is complete, you can just save it. I just created 3 different employees on each type. The next one is resource. Here on this window we can create resources for tailoring management system. We can produce final product by consuming raw material. So you can assign raw material as resources. So you can just create resource and expense chart of accounts, and you can select it accordingly. The debit side and credit side, you can just input the name and all. So next one is slab, where we can create a VAT percentage. So here on this window we can create VAT. I just already created different percentages. You can input all the required details here and you can save it once it's done. So this is how we can create a slab. The next one is service. If you need to add a service charge along with the product rate, then you can just add a service here. For example, I just created transportation charge. You can just input the name, all other required fields. If you need to enter, you can just enter it, including VAT percentage. So just like this, you can create services. It will add finally to the bill to the customer. So now the product, if you need to create a raw material and final goods, you can create it as a product. Just like this, I just created some of raw materials and main products, and you can just complete all the required fields, including the unit, rate and everything. So let's try to create a new product, main product like overcoat. Just like this, I just enter all the fields, the rate required, then you can just input the rate. It's like this, you can input. If you need to select VAT percentage for this particular product, then you can select it just like this. You can save it. So I just created a main product for our demo, and we have raw materials. Just like that, you can create it. So you can purchase the raw material in order to increase it in your stock. And for the main product, we can just make production. We'll show you in later. Now I'm just creating another raw material, which is button. And normal scenario, I just fill all the details just like this, and you can save it. So moving on, the next one is measurement. So each final product have a measurement based on the customer. So I just created 3 different measurements. You can add more if you need by inputting the measurement name here. Just input the name and you can save it. For example, neck length, you can just add the you can make changes, you can add more, just like that. Next one is rate type. Here you can input your rate type for each type, like stitching, cutting, embroidery, like that. You can just select your type here, input the amount. For example, stitching, I just input a normal amount here, just like that. You can complete it. Moving on, the next one is product measurement mapping. So here you can select your final product just like this. For example, overcoat, you can select your product size. By default it shows this much product sizes. If you need to create more or if you need to change it, then you can search just like this and you can edit it in order to change. If you need to create more, you can just input the name and save it to adding more measurements. So by default it shows default measurements from the software itself. You can create more if you need. I just created a normal measurement just like this. You can give short name and all. You can just save it. Now you can select that, and if you need to select the rate from here itself, you can just select it and you can just edit the rate if you need. So you can add rate later at the time of job card, even though you can just add it from here. So here for the product I'm just mapping the measurement just like this. If I need to add a default value, then I can edit the value and I can add more values like this. Next one is bill of material. This is for the production side. You can just select the depot, you can select the size of the product, and you can choose your product. The main product here, we are producing overcoat, so I'm just selecting it. You can select the batch, unit, and number of quantity that you are going to produce. So I'm just assigning one for one quantity of this product, how much components I need to consume. So I just use a normal raw material just like this. I can just add the quantity and all. I can add more quantity just like this. I can just use raw material. I can set, this is a template, you can just set it just like this. So whenever we produce overcoat, it will reduce the raw material accordingly, just like a normal product. So let's add one more. Okay, so 3 raw materials I have to stitch or to produce this overcoat, one quantity, so it will reduce accordingly. So these are the components or the product we using as a raw material. If I need to use resources like the expenses for this particular production, then I can choose our resource. For example, electric charge, just like this. You can just input the quantity. Okay, it will increase the cost. Okay, so it will add to the cost, and this is how you can just use bill of material. And that's all. I just created it. Now master is completed. Now first one is estimation on the transaction. So if any customer need an estimation based on the stitching process or the job card, then you can just give them an estimation. For example, just creating a new party here, only in the required fields just like this. And if I need to give him an estimation, I can choose him. I can select the depot and all the details like salesman, the serviceman, you can select it. Now you can select the product. I'm just doing an overcoat, then I can select it and you can just give the rate, the quantity, the discount and everything. You can complete it and you can just give him a printout of the estimation. So that's how we can give a sales estimation. You can just edit the rate if you need. Now I'm just adding discount and all, you can just give. That's how we can create an estimation, sales estimation. So based on this, if you need to create sales order, then you can just open this window, select the party, and you can call the estimation directly. Selected the party, you can click estimation, you can click the voucher, select the product, click OK. It will call the estimation. So if you need, you can just print out the sales order. You can just have a connection with estimation and order. So if anybody need a job card without any order estimation, you can just open job card directly and you can just select the party here itself. You can input company name, mobile number, email, everything. So for example, so normal details, here you can select depot priority, status. You can choose any status. Right now I'm just committed, registered by whoever is on the reception. You can just select them and choose expected delivery date and choose due days. Now document, there you can attach your document. Suppose if you need to attach a product image, whatever you are going to stitch, just like this, you can just attach it. So the stitching person and cutting person have an idea about the product sample. Finally, you can add a product just like this. You can just input product name and you can choose your size. In my case it's default, so if I need to add a quantity you can add. If you need to change the measurement you can change it. So based on the customer you can just change the measurement just like this. This is for one customer, so I'm just input random length just like this. Now you can input the name just like this. A fabric name if you need you can just add it, it's not mandatory, but here the product party code is mandatory. You can input party code here. We are using this measurement for this particular party under a particular company. So if we need to add more details you can add it just like this. Department, if he is in any department you can input it just like sales or something and just select input it. Now you can choose the color of the product or the cloth, you can choose it. Now you can choose cutting and you can select the rate type here. Same goes for embroidery. Here you can just choose the work on the embroidery position on that particular fabric. You can just select it. If you need to create more you can create it. You can just add stitching details like employee name, stitching rate, it will add. You can see the totals here. You can see the component. You can add more component from this window. You can add more. You can edit the quantity, you can edit the rate. Now the resource, you can add more resources just like this, or edit existing. You can just do it on this window itself. It will show an estimated cost here, total cost. Once it's done you can click OK in order to confirm. So if you need to add more party then you can just add more just like this. You can just create more party for the same product or different product. Okay, in a single company if they have different employees, if you need to measure take measurement of different employee you can just go just like this. So it's another one. Select a different product. I just mapped 2 measurement for this particular product, that's why it's showing 2. If you need to add more you can add it. So you can complete random. Right, party code, it just input field, you can just input it, and all the major requirement fields are just selected just like this. So you can create more employees in a single party or customer. So here you can just complete just like this. You can click OK in order to complete. So I have 2 different sub parties under in a single customer name. So if you need to edit it you can edit it. If you need to remove it you can just remove by using that edit or delete button here. Okay, so let me edit it and add the image of the particular product. Okay, so that's how you can create a job card. You can print it for the customer, you can design it based on your requirement. Okay, moving on, the next one, after job card you can just use cutting. You can call the job card into the cutting to assign a cutting person. You can choose your job card number, either job card number or the party name, just like that. You can just add it. If I enable it you can just assign the quantity. You can just edit the rate. If you need you can just edit it and you can just complete it. Okay, so I'm just assigning only one product to my cutting person, so the rest will be pending. You can just see the measurement here down there, you can save it. So this is how you can just assign cutting a job card. Now the next one is stitching. You can just assign your job card to any particular cutting person just like this. You can save it. So once you save the stitching it will produce automatically. Okay, so it will produce based on the bill of material you just made. It will reduce the quantity and it will increase the main product. So embroidery is the same, just like the stitching and cutting. You can just input the value and save it in order to assign. Then dispatch. After all the transactions completed you can just finally dispatch your product just like this. It shows the product, the grand total and everything. You can just complete it. If you have completed all the stitching and cutting process then you can just dispatch. So if you need to add a service charge along with the dispatch, then you can just add a service charge just like this. You can input the service charge. It shows the voucher number, it shows the value, and it will add to the grand total. So this is how you can just use a dispatch. You can save it just like this. So it shows all the details and show the print format just like this. If you set normal design, it show just like this. Moving on, sale invoice. Finally, after dispatch, you can make a sale by selecting your party or customer. You can select the product, the final product here. You can add the rate. You can add more product if you need a ready-made product. You can just add just like this. Now the next row, and you can edit the rate. You can save it. So if you need to collect the payment, you can just use payment button there. You can choose your mode of collection. Then you can just input the amount we are collecting. So this is how you can just complete the transaction for the customer. So this is how you can use a sale invoice for tailoring. If you need to set a print format for sale invoice, you can redesign, and you can set for invoice. So this is how you can use a sale invoice for tailoring. And finally, we have reports. Job card report is there, cutting report is there. You can just select one by one, and you can filter based on your requirement. You can just click preview. It shows a report like this. You can just print it or export it to PDF, or you can mail it directly. So there is cutting report, embroidery report, dispatch report, wage report. You can see wage report of your employee based on the task assigned. It shows just like this. Wage report. If you need a detailed report, then you can just click detail. The next one, tools invoice. You can just set your design, printer, everything. Next one is print job barcode. If the job card completed, you can print out a sticker to apply on the final product or the package you need to deliver. It shows the barcode design like this. You can change the design if you need based on the sticker size and all. You can just design it. It shows normally just like this. You can scan. It shows each sub-party based details. So this is how you can just take barcode for tailoring final product. So if you need to import measurement and all, you can just import by using this window based on the template. So finally, user settings. You can just select your user. You can just add privileges for each for the tailoring mode. And finally, message template for email and SMS. So, and finally, about us for the software. And this is how you can use Tailoring Management System. Thank you for watching.